Okay, okay. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for Summer Reading Jumpstart, Level Up at Your Library. So I am, I love this slide deck from Canva, by the way. I had to use this because it's just so colorful and so cool. For those of you that don't know me and you're new to the library land, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you. My name is Janeé Jackson Doring. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. With me is the other game master today, Samantha Bowers, our continuing education consultant. Becca Boland is also with us from iREAD. She is the content and development manager. So
Ooh, in the
please be
interest of full disclosure, I do not see Becca on the list.
okay. So she should be coming as well.
Cool.
Here we go. So our game plan, notice this is a game theme. Um, Today's game plan, we're going to take a peek at the state library resources. If you're new to planning summer reading, this will all be new to you. For those of you that have planned summer reading, either it's been, you went through it your first year or you've been doing it multiple times, this will be a refresher for you. So please bear with me because I want to make sure everybody feels accommodated and prepared. So we're going to go over the state library resources, templates, and resource guide 101. I'll go over some prize ideas that you could possibly have for grand prizes for your library. I will also share some program ideas from birth through preschool, elementary ages, and tweens and teens. I will have a note about outreach, both school outreach and a note about conducting outreach with community groups and daycares, and some resource pages to know as you go about planning your summer reading program. Everybody sounds great with that? Thumbs up?
Two thumbs up.
I love it. Beautiful. I love that interaction. So, of course, with every game that you play, there's got to be some rules. So I want to share this too. As Sam said, we please do share your ideas in the chat. And when you're on the mic, please be respectful of others. If you gotta go to the bathroom, oh my gosh, please go to the bathroom as needed. You gotta go. You just gotta go. And do get inspired. This is exciting. This manual has so much stuff. Resource guide, excuse me. It has so much stuff. So get inspired and have fun. And Sam, also, we were talking about this. For those of you that decide to speak on your mic, guess what? You guys will get some free books from me.
Well,
Yes.
now we're gonna have too many. I was only gonna use the free books as a bribe later, but you've put it up front, so here's a
I am going to put,
challenge.
you know what? We're rocking and rolling this morning. I'm going to
Here
put
we
it up
go.
front. So the more you speak, the more I send books to you. Because I've got a ton of books here and they need to be off my shelves and into your hands. So please speak. We want to hear from you because we learn from each other. But also some don'ts. Don't disparage others. Don't be afraid to share. We're all learning from each other. Don't forget to hydrate. One of my good friends, she says, have you hydrated today? She has a oh, southern accent, and I know she's probably gonna be mad at me. She says to me, "You gotta stay hydrated." So please don't forget to hydrate, um, and don't forget to stand up and move. If you just need to stand up and move for a hot minute, please do. We don't want your body to feel cranky and achy. So please don't forget to stand up and move. All right, Sam.
Okay, so this is me. I told you, I promised you polls. Here we go. On the scale of Mario, how are you feeling about summer library programming for 2025? I'm
Ooh.
Oh, we got a nice range. We'll launch this and then we'll let this go for a couple minutes and then I'll share the results with you all. Now, Janeé, you are obviously a veteran summer reading planner, and this year you're not, actually doing any programming, but how would past Janeé be feeling in November prior? Now give us your honest assessment. Where would you put yourself?
I would put, so what is one being highest, six being
No,
lowest,
on
or
with the Marios. Would you be an 8 chasing after the wind here?
I would be probably a seven.
You'd be a 7. All
I would
right,
be a
arms wide
seven.
open. Here we go. Let's see here. Let me share the results. We've got a lot of 6s. Can you guys see those results? Let's see. We've got almost a tie between 5 and 6. So
Yes,
I'm thinking, Janae, we have our pep talk kind of cut out for this here. But I want to remind everyone, this is the jump start. You all are the early birds here. So there's going to be a lot more fun stuff to come. But thanks for your honest sharing. I hope after you leave here today that we're all feeling maybe we move ourselves around on the Mario chart a little bit here. All right, Janae, what's next?
okay. So, for those of you that looked at this title, Level Up at Your Library, I'm sure some of you might have been wondering, what the heck does Level Up at Your Library mean? Well, let me back it up a bit. When you hear the term level up, for me, when I was playing Super Mario Brothers or Candyland or any type of video game, you know how you get to that point where you've defeated whatever you needed to defeat and you get to level 2 and you're like, yes, or you move to the next level and you're like, so happy, I'm excited. I made it. I've done it. Ha ha ha. Take that, mom. My mother would play. My mother would play video games more than I would. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100. My mother would beat the game versus me. Me, I would get mad if I didn't make it to the next level. I would throw the controller and go outside and play. That was my life growing up. But when I did make it to that next level, I felt like a queen. I was like, yeah, I learned something new. So level up is all about learning new skills. You're growing, you're evolving, it's how to do something, how to play something, how to grow and be skillful in an item or content. So looking at level up at your library, it is all about learning through play. And we all know this as youth professionals, directors, I'm sure you're learning this too. Children learn best through play. And this year, Level Up at Your Library, we're going to look at the different ways we play and the things we consider as play. On your screen is the artwork selected for this year's summer reading theme. To your left, we've got the two players playing the foosball table and the skateboarder. That artwork was created by Vanessa Brantley Newton. This would be cool for an adult summer reading theme. So if you're putting together the adult summer reading program at your library, you could use this artwork for your adult portion. Down below, we have the artwork by, hopefully I can say it right, Carrie Peachich. And I just saw Becca Boland come in. So Becca, I don't know if you can hear me, if you can jump in. I don't know if I'm saying Carrie's last name right.
It's peach like the fruit.
Thank you. It's
You're
peach
welcome.
like the fruit. Thank you, Becca. So Carrie Peach created this awesome artwork. It's got like cosplay, chess, um, different types of artwork that you could use for your teen portion of your summer reading, or tween for that matter. Super fun, super engaging. To the right of your screen, we have Og Mora, and Og Mora created these awesome children's, it almost looks like collage artwork of different children playing, reading, waiting in line, playing basketball. This would be cute for your children's portion of your summer reading program or your artwork for your marketing and such. And at the very bottom, we have Ruth Chan. And Ruth Chan created some really cute illustrations for that birth through preschool, early elementary ages artwork for kids. So look at that and consider this as you are thinking about your summer reading plans.
One thing to note, which is super fun about the art from iReads the last couple years, is that you don't have to use this art for any particular grade. If you want to use all of it for one grade, you can. You just have so much flexibility about how you use the art. Okay, so Janeé has talked us through some fun kind of game and play ideas. I'm going to open up another poll here. So we sometimes think about the theme as almost like a vehicle. You know, it can kind of go a lot of different directions that you want it to. Are you going to drive to the grocery store? Are you going to drive to the library? Duh, library. But what directions do you want to take this theme? If gaming maybe isn't what you're thinking, um, what other ideas might you have to engage users on this level up at your library? So I can't actually see any answers here besides until I launch the poll. So this is going to be a mystery to me. But Becca, can I put you on the spot while these are rolling in? What fun stuff do you want to say about the art this year?
Oh, okay. So, one of the things that I love the most about Carrie Peach's art is that it is, like you'll see, this is Carrie's art that's on this slide right now. It's both folks in the library, like doing puzzles or playing video games or writing out their D&D campaign, but it's also the same patrons in a fantastical D&D world of their imagination. So I love that you will see all of these characters reflected in that D&D world, so you get both. And one of the things that I really love about Carrie's art here is the multi-generational she has a lot of multi-generational art within the art that she has provided, which I think is really cool. Same with Vanessa Brantley Newton, and I think it gives you a lot of flexibility, like Samantha was saying, if you want to use the art for all ages, like you just want to choose one artist, or if you do want to have a couple of different artists for your summer reading program, it's really flexible, and I think they kind of all complement each other really well. I'm trying to think what else. Okay, Mora's stuff. Some of what you saw on the slide that Janeé showed was her, like what is behind me right now, this kind of less detailed collage style, but there's also some really detailed images in terms of the, yeah. So, but there's also some really detailed kind of collage style images that are available within the resource guide. So there's a wide range there. Ruth Chan was super generous, and we have a ton of art from her. And it's all really adorable. So you have
So
so much to play with there. And then Vanessa, her art I love because it's so full of movement. It's so bright, it's so joyful. And I just think, and again, there's that kind of multi-age, cross-generational representation in her art, that I think suits libraries who want to use just one artist as opposed to multiple artists really, really well. If
so
anyone has
fun.
specific questions about the art or anything, put them in the chat or whatever. And I'm happy to.
Okay. Are you guys seeing the results of the what people typed in for their short answers on theme direction?
All we're seeing is that 100% answered.
100% answered. Well, hang on here, Janeé. I might have to grab the screen share just a sec.
Feel free.
All right. I'm going to share this so that folks can see. Now you should be seeing it, right? Okay.
See a
So
screen.
what direction do you want to take this theme? Tabletop and yard games. Ooh, yard games would be so fun for the summer.
Ooh.
Uh, be active and engaged without worry. Better yourself by leveling up self-care. There we go. Reading and read more. That's perfect for a library. Upcycle, that's so great. Yeah. We have a great kernel on upcycling, skills and hobbies, outdoor games, explore new things, be away from video games. Yeah. So fun. Someone says, not sure, no idea yet. Racing, that's so fun. This is great. So I love these ideas. Thanks, everyone. And we are going to make sure that a copy of the poll results get shared out with folks as well as the chat if it ends up being that's more helpful. So, okay, Janeé, go ahead.
Okay.
Oops. Where are we headed next?
You. Can you guys see my slides? I just want to double check.
We're there. Yep.
Okay. So now we're going to move to State Library Templates and Resource Guide 101. Here we go. Again, if you have worked with us at the State Library as far as using our Canva templates, this is old hat to you. You guys know exactly what we provide. For those of you that are new to planning a summer reading, this is what the State Library provides. We have Canva. Some libraries have Canva. It is wonderful. It is a wonderful design program. With Emily Bainter, our information specialist, I've worked with Emily to put together bookmark reading logs. So this was last year's example. So on the front, we had different designs that had the read, renew, repeat theme. That was on the front. And on the back, we had a 2024 summer reading log where all you had to do was color in a circle for every every X amount of minutes that you chose. And then once the patron was done with the bookmark, they write their name, age, phone number, bring it back to the library, drop it off, and then maybe you have a prize or a trinket. But I designed them, one for birth through preschool, and then the others were like middle grade, elementary, tween, teen themed. But that just gives you an example of a bookmark reading log. I'm working on this year's 2025's designs using the wonderful artwork supplied by iREAD. So you'll at least now you can see what we have for bookmark reading logs. We also have drawing slips. So if you have like a grand prize drawing at the end of your summer reading program, we got you covered. These are examples from last year. We just had name, email, phone, and then an entry for adult, teen, or a children's program. We'll offer this as well with 2025 designs. This is an example of a reading challenge. When I worked at Des Moines Public Library, we created a reading challenge, and I thought this would be really cool to share with you guys too. I created one for elementary ages for birth through fifth grade, and then there's teens, 6th through 12th grade. This program is a little different. How it works is if a patron reads for X amount of minutes, so let's say 20 minutes, or they complete a learning activity, they can mark off a circle on the sheet. And once they filled out that entire sheet, they would bring it back to your library and be entered to win a grand prize draw for the grand prize drawing. And then for a learning activity, if they wanted to just do learning activities, they could choose from that list underneath. So for the teens, they could attend a library program or volunteer at the library or create a music playlist from a book they've read or write a story or create a comic with your favorite book characters. For a learning activity for birth through fifth grade on the other sheet, they could write a story or draw a picture, play a game with their family outside, check out a STEM or a literacy kit from their library, and so forth. So that gives you an example of a reading challenge sheet for elementary ages and for a teen. Does anyone have any questions about this? There were libraries that used it last year, and I was so happy to see it. I was like, wow, this is awesome.
We've had a few positive comments in the chat. So I took care of a couple questions in the chat as well. So be watching there if you do have questions. They might have been answered there.
Okay, because I haven't seen the chat, so I'm looking.
I'm
Oh my
watching the
goodness.
chat for you. I got your back.
I love it. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
And also the beloved bingo. Oh my gosh. I was reading the summer reading survey comments. You guys love these bingo sheets. Wowie, wow, wow. Every time I get the summer reading survey back, I see the comments and they're like, we love the state library. Please keep those bingo sheets coming. So yes, I will bring the bingo sheets back. This was last year's design. Thank you, Emily Bainter. Thank you, thank you. She put her magic touches on the sheets for me as well. So we had three different types of bingo sheets, one for babies through preschool. The middle sheet is elementary ages, and then the third one to your right uh, was for teens. And they just had to complete an activity on that bingo sheet. And in the middle of each sheet, there's a bonus. So, because who doesn't love a bonus? You got to have a bonus. It's not bingo if you don't have a bonus. So, we will be bringing the bingo sheets back as well. And all of the Canva templates that I am designing, they will be done by the end of January and posted in February. And I'll show you where we will post them. So everybody take a breather and relax. Don't freak out. Yes, we are bringing back all of these templates. Another thing I created last year was a game board, which I plan to do a game board again this year. People loved this too. It was so cute. For last year's theme, I had it where you could follow the path to the little library, and all the kids had to do was mark off a circle for each book they read. And then once they were done, they brought their sheet back with their name and info for a prize. And this was just for birth through preschool. And kids liked it. I've heard positive comments from librarians. And I plan to do something a little different this year that has that gaming aspect, but that will be available to you as well. Another big thing that I read from the summer reading surveys, 2 surveys ago, someone had said, hey, can you guys make some customizable calendars for us? That'd be really great. That way we can promote our events. I brought this idea to Emily, and Emily used her magic and created customizable calendars for last year. We will get those up as well for this year as well. So that way all you have to do is enter your information and then use that calendar, print it out, use it to distribute your events at schools, daycares, or whatnot. But this is just another great tool to have in your belt so that way you are prepared when parents or caregivers or whomever say, hey, what do you got going on at the library this summer? So I just wanted to show you guys what we have for customizable calendars as well. The other cool thing to tell you, this year, I have bought games. I have bought a ton of games since it's a gaming theme this year. And let's face it, games aren't cheap. Y'all know games are not cheap. If you buy a whole bunch of games, run up there like 150 bucks. So we will be offering games for checkout through the STEM to Go program. Games and kits will be checked out for 5 weeks, no renewals. I bought games of all different kinds from preschool age all the way to teen. Some of the current ones that you can use right now, the Jenga set that has been circulating so far, the domino set. I have taco, cat, goat, cheese pizza, this cute little crocodile dentist game, which my coworker Linda and we were playing one day, and I got smacked in the hand with a crocodile. But it's super cute, super engaging. But I'm going to get all of these games posted on our STEM to Go and Storytime Kit webpage so that way you can check them out for your library once summer hits. Oh, and the B-Bots. The B-Bots would be really cool for a maze, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. And we have Resource Guide 101. So if you've printed and downloaded the resource guide, congratulations, you are ahead of the game. Wonderful. The resource guide has these icons at the bottom. Um, EL is for early literacy, C is for children, T is for teen, A for adult, F for family, and the double A is all ages. You will see as you go through the resource guide, you will see these icons, and please use those icons because that will help you to determine what program is suitable for your age group of the kids and teens and families in your library and adults. So definitely use that as a tool to help you. I also wanted to mention these two things real quick because every year that I've only been here for 2 years, but when I read the resource or the summer reading survey, I always hear the comment, I want more decorating tips. How do I decorate? I want more stuff about fundraising. Guess what? I've got you covered. Pages 7 through 10, sections 1A and section 1D talks all about fundraising. There's a fundraising letter. There's a tracking system. If you get donations, it tells you how to track those donations, who you got them from. So that way you're able to say thank you and write thank you notes at the end of your summer reading program. But read those sections because that's going to help as far as building those awareness and fundraising tips. And for decorating, check pages 47 to 62. There are tons and tons of information on how to decorate your library this summer. You cannot go wrong. There's no wrong way to decorate. You decorate however you see fit for your community. We are going to move to prize ideas. Here we go. So for grand prize ideas, if you're really stuck and you're brand new, check.
Janeé, can I
Yes,
interrupt your flow for 1 sec? What
please do.
day did the resource guide go to directors?
Yes, so a news bulletin was emailed to library directors on November 6th.
6. Okay. So someone asked for a link to the resource guide. So check with your director, have them look back at their emails from November 6th from the state library, and they will have the instructions on how to get it downloaded. You may download it once per library, but then after you've downloaded it once, it's up to you what you do with it. Put it on a flash drive, print out pages, but that's kind of the basics for that. Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt your flow. I couldn't find my unmute button. Go ahead.
Also, I want to add, for those of you that received that email with the instructions, please download the resource guide and use that code by June 1st of 2025. I repeat, please use that code by June 1st, 2025. After June,
Janeé, these
yes,
folks are at the summer reading jumpstart. Well, these aren't the ones we have to worry about downloading it by June. It's all
I
those
know.
people who think that summer reading should wait till after Christmas that we have to worry about here. Just
I
kidding,
know.
folks. But yes, do download it on time. Okay, back to prizes, Janeé.
Sorry, I just want to make sure everybody's prepared. I'm
They're
sorry.
so prepared. They're jump started. They're running.
Okay. So for grand prize ideas, check page 30 in the getting started section. They offer a plethora of ideas for grand prizes. These are some ideas I thought of that maybe you could do as far as offering a grand prize for birth through preschool, elementary, and teen. For your babies, maybe at the end of their summer reading program, maybe you offer a stuffed animal basket with stuffed animals and board books. For your preschooler toddlers, maybe you will offer a Magnetile set as the grand prize, or do a set of Duplos. Ooh, you can't go wrong with Duplos. Um, for elementary ages, squishmallows are a thing. Man, I've never seen so many kids love squishmallows, and there's so many different kinds of squishmallows. If you go on Amazon, there's like a whole page full of squishmallows. You can't go wrong with STEM kits, Lego kits, maybe a gaming basket. Maybe you create a basket that's just nothing but different board and card games. That grand prize winner wins that whole basket. Paint by number kits are really popular, which I was kind of surprised. I was like, really? That's a thing now. Okay. Paint by number kits. And of course, your movie passes, if you give them a pass to a movie or a zoo or a museum or even a local park, like an outdoor park, if there's like a mission, give them a pass to a local park, local outdoor park. That would be a wonderful way to inspire them to get a grand prize and not be in front of a TV. For teens, teens are fickle. We know this. They love the money. They love the gift cards. So think Amazon, think Starbucks, think Target, Barnes and Noble. Especially with Amazon, Target, and Barnes and Noble, they could buy their own games or they could buy some fun stuff to promote the summer reading program for them, or books. So think of gift card wise, think of those places. Um, Teens love art and craft baskets, just putting a basket together filled with art supplies so they can encourage to draw or have journals, paints, watercolor paints, some fun stuff in there. Um, the resource guide also suggested for a grand prize maybe a gaming system. Maybe you reach out to a local business and see if they'd be willing to donate uh, money to purchase a gaming system for a teen. That would be a really cool prize. Um, or an after hours party. So if you have a teen that wins the summer reading program, maybe you close the library off just for them and maybe five of their friends, and you order pizza and you have a gaming party for them, whether that's playing Dungeons and Dragons or they're playing on their Nintendo Switches, or maybe they're just having a Nerf tag event inside the library. West Des Moines has done a Nerf tag with Nerf guns and stuff, and it was super duper fun. So maybe you consider that for teens. I've seen string lights or LED lights, giving teens those cool little lights that they can hang up in their rooms just to be like, oh yeah, this is my place. Back off. Just having some cool string lights or LED lights that they can hang up. Or a gaming basket with a ton of board games, or I just thought of this. Oh my God, I just thought of this. If you have like Dungeons and Dragons fans at your library, what about a Dungeons and Dragons basket full of the dice and the guides? Oh my gosh, that would be so legit. So cool. The other thing to your right on your screen, consider an experience prize for kids. This was really cool. This summer, Davenport Public Library, that's my hometown, um, they did a really cool activity. So for the winner of their summer reading challenge, the youth services team and the outreach departments, they brought story time to the winner's front yard, to this kid's front yard. This was on their Facebook page. So they brought story time, face painting, bubbles, games, just to their front yard. How cool is that? I think this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So consider having a different experience for kids and for your teens. Any questions so far?
While you guys think of your questions, I'm going to launch our next poll. I think that's what's next for me. What types of prizes go over the best with your participants? Do you guys still like, and this is a multi-select, so you can choose as many as you want, but and of course some things are uh it could be a trinket or it could be like an experience grand prize, for example. So I kind of have a double-barreled question a little bit here, but do you still give away the trinkets for everybody? I know that doesn't work in every town. A lot of families say keep the Oriental Trader products and like let's just see if we win a Lego set or something like this. But got quite a bit of participation here, so let me end. Give it one more second.
Wow.
Seems like the grand prize is pretty popular, that you would somehow be entered into a drawing to win. Maybe you read a certain number of books. I know our home library will just have you complete the activity sheet any number of times. So the more you complete the activity sheet, the more your name goes into the drawing bucket. And then I suppose the more likely you are to win. But very fun. A lot of people, though, still giving away the trinket. And I know they do bring a great deal of joy to my 5-year-old. So that's also fun to see if it works for your library. Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, it sounds like, oh my goodness, Becca found some really cute Dungeons and Dragons dye battery powered string lights. What? Say what? Can you please share where you got those, Becca? Because I know there's going to be people that want that stuff.
We definitely got them on Amazon. I think if you just search D&D LED battery light, they should pop up. But they also, I mean, they have like giant inflatable D20s. You can do a lot with D&D right now because it's so hot. I'll see if I can find the link and throw it in the chat, but I bet you all can find it pretty easily.
Awesome.
Someone
Thank
mentions some other sort of specific prizes that have been popular are the Crocs charms. You can jab them through the top of the Crocs shoes or on bracelets. They're called gibbets, which I think is a weird word, but very popular. Mary Torgerson says, the only prize I got any guff about was the kazoo. So yes, you will have to clear that one with the parents in your life. Maybe not harmonica, same thing. My son recently discovered the harmonica, and my life has never been the same. Adult grand prizes for sure is one question asked. We can talk about that down the road. I'm looking at time and thinking we maybe better keep moving a little bit. Becca, of course, also mentions giving away books, which is fun. Mary, no, no harmonicas. From the parents of your hometown, I say no.
I
Very
love the
cool.
idea. I love the idea of Play-Doh, giving away Play-Doh. That's
Oh, that would
cool.
be so fun. Play-Doh's
That's a
great. All right, where are we headed next? Oh, program ideas. Good, good, good.
yes. We're going to birth to preschool program ideas for ages 0 to 5. And here we go. So one of the program ideas was a toddler sensory play that's Candyland themed. I thought this was super duper cute. Pages 237 to 238, ages 1 to 3. It has a rainbow trail, gumdrop lake, where you take a plastic wading pool filled with ball pit balls, and you can get those ball pit balls on Amazon. The rainbow trail is like those little stepping stones from Lakeshore Learning. Those are adorable. Or you could just use color tiles. You could do a plethora of different things. Candyland, it's candy themed wrapping paper. Think Christmas wrapping paper because right now they have those cutesy candy colored wrapping paper. Taking all that paper, tissue paper, cupcake wrappers, and putting it in a sensory bin. The peppermint forest has rice dyed red and white, and it's peppermint scented. Put that in a sensory bin with shovels, and I could see toddlers just playing in that. There's a plethora of different activities you could do with this toddler sensory play to build their senses. Picture book character scavenger hunt. You can't go wrong with a scavenger hunt. Who doesn't love a scavenger hunt these days? But basically, what you're doing on page 287, you're creating a scavenger hunt with picture book characters. You can use this as a passive program idea or incorporate it into a special story time. You'll just print the characters on cardstock. Maybe you have a library aide or a teen volunteer or yourself hang them in the library, and you give families the sheet to find the characters. And once they do, they can win a small trinket, maybe a sticker or a pencil. And also pages 305 to 307, they have other scavenger hunts on there too. So I just wanted to put those on there for you for your reference. But I just love all these characters, especially Pigeon. You can't go wrong with Pigeon. And then Gordon here is from the iREAD artwork this year, and it's from the picture book Have You Seen Gordon by Ruth Chan. This was an idea I saw at the Altoona Public Library in 2023, and I kept this picture because I was like, wow, this is cool. They created an I Spy scavenger hunt, and it was on their glass windows. And so what they did was they covered the window with cutouts of different items, and then they created a sheet for kids at the bottom left and right corners. It says, can you spy these objects? From the recent awesome upcoming summer programs. And so they had to hunt for these items on the sheet. I thought this was super cute, super engaging, just a simple way to engage kids and families and have them have fun at the library. Okay, painters tape maze and DIY cars. This is on page 446. I've done this program and it's a lot of fun. You can take painter's tape or washi tape. I personally recommend painter's tape because it'll stick on the carpet better. Um, Toy cars, rubber bands, wooden craft sticks, corks. There's, let's see, clothespins, drinking straws. You'll need chenille stems and spools of ribbon. But basically, you make a maze on the carpet with different colors of painter's tape or washi tape, and the kids can create cars using everyday materials, including clothespins, buttons, drinking straws, the stems, um, with buttons, rubber bands, and wooden craft sticks. And you could let kids experiment with different materials that roll. So, like the spools of ribbon, they can practice rolling with them. And you can use rolls of tape that you use to create the maze. And this is actually from Clear Lake Public Library. Thank you, Sam, for the clarification. Sam
That
sent me this.
was completely my fault, and I knew Bree was in the room, and I knew I was going to get grief, as I should, because I messed that up. But we do love Bree,
Yes.
and the maze was so fun.
So shout out to Clear Lake Public Library for this awesome photo. With these painter's tape mazes, another thing you can do, you could use the bee bots that we have here for the STEM to Go kit, and that can be an activity that your kids use as well. How fast did the bee bot go? Maybe they have to count how many steps, how many times do they need to program the bee bot in order for it to go and move? That would be a wonderful activity to incorporate that STEM component, and having them make their own cars out of rubber bands and craft sticks and clothespins. They can test how far the car went, if the car went at all. But it's all about problem solving and creativity. And we've got sharing is
Okay,
caring.
now is one of these opportunities where you can win a book bag. So, our question is, what is some of your favorite programming for 0 to 3-year-olds? The first person who I see raise their hand and come off mute to share a favorite program for 0 to 3-year-olds
I don't know
wins
how
a
to do
prize
that.
bag.
I
Oh,
heard somebody.
we did in Dubuque.
Hello?
Um, yeah, but
Hi.
I don't know how I did. I'm not sure what I just did.
Oh, well,
Anyway,
would you like to
Perfect.
share a
You did
program
it.
for 0 to 3-year-olds?
messy art.
Messy art. Tell us more.
Well, it's all process art and we do it outside and I don't really have an end program in mind. I mean, an end project in mind, but if it's painting, we might be painting with paintbrushes or we might be painting with pine cones or we'll do um, just something very messy that moms, parents don't want to do, but it's no bigger mess to do it for 20 than it is to do for one. So we do messy art as often as I can.
So great. Could you share your name with us and I'll make sure
Like
that your book,
just tell you or type it or what do you want me to do?
you can
You can
either
tell
one.
me.
I am Teresa Jack and I'm in Dubuque County Library.
Great.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks, Teresa. Let's see who answered our poll with some of their favorites. Let's see. Are you guys again just seeing like your answers for this?
I'm just seeing the program for 0 to 3,
Man,
100%
okay,
answered.
here, let me share the screen. We got our favorite programs for 0 to 3, sensory story time. So it sounds like maybe the Candyland thing is going to go over well. Squirt gun painting, parachutes. Of course, a parachute is always going to be fun. Anything with glitter, naturally. A freeze dance, sensory
Dance.
bins, kids in the garden. Very fun. Very fun program ideas. And I am going to save this chat for sure because there have been some really fun ideas in the chat as well.
I love these early start kits. I love it.
Yeah. And dance parties. Who doesn't love a dance party?
We have a dance party kit also that you can check out from the state library too. It has a disco ball, it has CDs, it has music,
I feel like
scarves.
I feel like Janeé, you're gonna be you'll be in a position one of these days where you're gonna say, I have a kit for that.
Kit for
Someone's
that.
like,
Well,
I want to do a
we
program.
have
I
70
have
kits now. In the 2 years
70
I've been doing this,
kits.
we have 70 kits now. So yes.
Very fun. All right. Where are we headed next, Janeé? Onward and upward to older kiddos, I imagine.
Yes, we are moving to elementary age program ideas for ages 6 to 11. Okay, bingo. You can't go wrong with bingo. Um, they have a book cover bingo on page 232. Basically, what it is you take pictures of book covers and you place them on bingo cards. You can tailor this to any group. You can tailor this to kids, teens. The picture is from the iREAD resource guide, so this is more for adults. But you could do a book cover bingo and customize it. They have a customizable template that you can use to do book cover bingo with your elementary age kids. Maybe you put a mix of kids' graphic novels on there and some chapter books like I Survived or Sisters or Smile or The Babysitters Club, and do a book cover bingo with the kids. There's also the Super Mario Bingo program on pages 315 to 317. Um, Super cute. If your group is a big Mario group, if you have Mario fans, you can print out the Mario bingo cards on white cardstock. They have 4 different kinds of bingo cards, so no cards look the same. And you can play rounds of bingo at your library and award prizes. I will tell you, if you do this, make sure you have plenty of bingo cards available. I had a Pokemon bingo at Southside Library where I worked. My meeting room could only fit 75 people comfortably. I had people waiting in the hallway to play. And I ran out of bingo cards and my heart sunk because I had to turn people away and I hated it. So be prepared. Be prepared. Make sure you have enough bingo cards. And just be aware of your space because when you advertise programs like this, these rooms fill up. They may fill up fast. So just a heads up. With the bingo program for Super Mario, this can also be adapted for tween or teen as well. And having a Mario Party, a Super Mario Party on page 322. They have this really cool plan for a Mario Party. So you could do a scavenger hunt. That's on page 321. It already has the scavenger hunt items to look for. You could just make copies of it and make copies of the characters, hang them up, have the kids look for Super Mario characters. There's a craft where they could create and find Yoshi eggs. You can just take those plastic Easter eggs that they always sell at the very end of Easter. Grab all those plastic Easter eggs, fill them up with some fun stuff, and have them find Yoshi eggs in the library. Princess Peach. Come on, Peaches. You can't go around Peaches. That song Peaches was stuck in my head all the year that it came out. Maybe you get some crowns from Oriental Trading, some paper crowns, and have them decorate a Princess Peach crown. You get some fun little sticky gems from Amazon and have the kids stick them on, or some sticky stickers, adhesive stickers, so that way they can make their own Princess Peach crown. This can be adapted, so it can be in an all-day event where it's kind of passive, or you have it as a certain time, like a party time. So like from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., you have stations where all of these things are happening. So it's very adaptable. They also have an idea for an interactive Super Mario Brothers movie party too. That is a cool idea as well that you'll have to check out in the resource guide. I really wanted to focus on providing some book activities because I saw in the summer reading survey that, hey, I need some book ideas. I need some book activities for my kids. What could I do for a book club or a book idea? The resource guide has you covered because they have their book explorers book club ideas. Pages 234, 235. Both of these books are fantastic. I've read them. The first book on your left is Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library by Chris Gravenstein. It's book one for grades third through sixth. These kids have to go to the library to solve these puzzles and riddles from Mr. Lemoncello, who's a game player, and the main character is determined to win. It's a very fun, very interactive book because you're literally solving puzzles and riddles throughout the book. Some games to play after the discussion. iREAD recommends having a giant Connect Four, which you take from a shower curtain and you have red and yellow paper plates, and then the kids are taping it up there to make their own giant Connect Four. Giant Jenga, you can take those 12 can pop containers, those, what do they call those? Like cardboard pop containers, wrap them up, tape them up, and you can wrap them up into like brown paper and they can make their own giant Jenga. There's also the Mr. Lemoncello's Great Library Escape game. If you email the author, he will send you a PDF of that game. And that's all in the resource guide. What an awesome opportunity to interact with the author and have him send that game to you. To your right is The Cardboard Kingdom. It's a graphic novel series by Chad Sell for grade through six. And it's about a group of these kids in the neighborhood. They do a cosplaying and they make their own cardboard kingdom. But they all are going through certain things. And it's just a great graphic novel series. There's 3 books in the series and they're fantastic. So after your discussion with the kids, you can break them up into stations. And they can create walls and castles with large plastic cups. If you have some cardboard boxes around, have them make their own cardboard kingdoms. See what they can build, see what they're going to make. Or if you don't have any cardboard, you could have kids build with magnet tiles, Kiva planks, Legos, just building that imagination. So these would be some wonderful book club ideas for elementary, almost to that tween age. And of course, you can't go wrong with Legos. They have, for 2 activities, Lego mazes and marble runs on page 276. You can have the kids create mazes using Legos and the base plates and have them test each maze with marbles or small balls that you can order from Amazon, or you can get those from the Dollar Tree or $1.25 tree. Lego Derby on page 274. Basically, you're having kids build Lego vehicles for 15 minutes, and they test those vehicles in races for 15 minutes. And then the kids can improve their design and tweak it up and race again. Super fun programs. I've done a Lego maze. I've done kind of a Lego derby or a racing day at the library where I had cardboard, I had paper towel tubes, but the kids got to take those cardboard pieces and paper towel tubes, and they made their own mazes out of that. And I bought some really cheap toy cars and just let the kids play as well. Again, these are different things that you can do. You can use Legos, you can use regular cars, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong way to do a program. Family game night. You can't go wrong with a family game night. You can offer stations where kids and families can choose to play either life-size games to play, or they can just play regular board and card games. Some game ideas from the resource guide. The Floor is Lava, which that's on page 260. And I know there's an actual game you can buy now that's called The Floor is Lava. But kids enjoy that game. There's also activities where you can make a life-size Candyland game and how you can make life-size board games. That's on pages 276 to 281. The pictures of the life-size Candyland are phenomenal. It's just mind-blowing. So you can definitely get some ideas from that. The other thing I wanted to point out, and this was super cool, If you have Spanish speakers in your community, consider purchasing some Spanish games. Pages 509 to 510, they have some Spanish game resources like Loteria. Loteria, if you've ever played Loteria, that is a fast bingo game. I mean, it's faster than bingo. You've got to move and you've got to look at the picture and you match the item that's on your sheet, but they move fast. You have to like really keep at it. So it's not your typical bingo. It's loteria. So check out the Spanish game resources as well. I love this part of the resource guide because it really talked about getting kids outside. Who remembers field day at elementary school? I do. I remember going outside and doing the potato sack races and then taking, you would take a bat and then you would have to walk around it 2 or 3 times and then try to run in a straight line to give your baton to somebody else. Super duper fun. So they suggested having a field day on pages 259 to 260. For this, if you have the space in your library yard, you could do this outside at your library. If you do not have any green space, contact Parks and Recreation to see if you can use their park. You could have some fun events like a hula hoop contest, beanbag toss, potato sack races, relay races. I remember Red Rover, send Sam right over. But you gotta be careful during Red Rover because some people get really, really mean during that game. I'm just saying, maybe that's just my childhood coming out. But anyway, these are some fun things you could do for a field day. And maybe you buy some ribbons from Amazon and each child that participates get a ribbon, not just 1, 2, and 3, first, second, and third place, because let's face it, it's kind of sad. So make sure everybody feels included and everybody can participate. To your right, there's Recess Together. I mean, recess was fun as a kid. Pages 295 or page 295 has a variety of games you could play at a park. Again, contact Parks and Recreation for this. You could do Duck, Duck, Goose, Hopscotch, Hot Potato, Simon Says, Red Light, Green Light, flashlight tag. And I like this picture at the very bottom of the kids with the flashlights. So maybe if you're having some games at night, you could grab some flashlights and the kids could play flashlight tag. With both of these events, I do want to say, make sure you have some water so that way the kids are hydrated. Make sure you have extra volunteers or people on hand that could help with these events.
All
Check for the
right.
weather too.
And now I get to bother you guys. We talked a lot about games with this one. I'm thinking maybe we want to avoid Red Rover. Got a lot of perhaps maybe skip that one. But we had someone talking about like water Olympics, water
Yes.
field day, but with water. We got a pool noodle idea. Um, some fun ideas here. So now this question is, we've talked a lot about games for this age group. What kind of gamer are you? Where you might be headed with this gaming summer? I would never believe that in a room full of librarians, sports would be coming in last. Who would have thought this? Well, almost. Now it's tied with video games, but this was a single choice. But it looks like mostly we've got a room full of board gamers, over 60% of folks voting. So, and those people who are not gamers, I see you. You'll have some fun stuff to do with it, I'm sure, with the theme this summer as well. So you can also let us know a favorite game or two in the chat as we roll forward to our next age group.
I love this. And I'm definitely a board game person. I loved Battleship. I loved Connect Four, but my ultimate jam, categories. If
Oh,
you are
categories is so fun.
if you are good at categories, bring it. I will bring it right back, man.
Well,
I
we can do
love
this at the
categories.
holiday potluck, maybe, Janeé, but
I love it. So now we're going to move to tween and teen. For this group, tweens I find from ages 9 to 11, teens ages 12 to 18. So for teen and tween, consider having a video game character perler bead craft day. This is on pages 448 and 449. You can grab some perler beads and some boards, some hot glue gun, glue sticks, just in case, parchment paper, the ironing boards. Definitely grab some bowls or some cups for the beads because you know how beads scatter everywhere. If they want to make a keychain, some keychain materials or ribbons, and the printed pattern designs. But basically, you're having tweens and teens just display their fandom by making perler art from video game characters. These were some samples from the resource guide. And if you have a plethora of a whole bunch of teens and tweens that show up, you definitely want to grab bulk of the fused bead boards. So I wanted to make sure I put the picture of what they look like on Amazon, from Amazon, with the tweezers, because using the tweezers is easy. It's easier to do versus their hands. And then the perler beads, this is a pack of 22,000 perler beads, but they can make a plethora of different video game characters. And at the bottom, candypatterns.com, Candy has a whole bunch of different characters. So Pikachu, Minecraft, Princess Peach, a whole bunch of different characters that you can print out those patterns and use for your program. They also, for iREAD, they also have escape rooms on pages 254 to 256. There is a Bigfoot. Bigfoot has escaped in the library. iREAD recommends having groups sign up for 30-minute time slots to break out of an escape room using the clues provided in the resource guide. I know on Library Talk, there is a ton of talk about escape rooms. I put the link down below so that there's two things for you. There's survivingateachersalary.com. There's free digital escape rooms that are book themed. So you can take a peek at all those different types of escape rooms that you can use at your library. And on Library Talk, if you type in escape rooms, you can get also a plethora of ideas as well. I clicked on the actual link. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. There we go. Puzzle Palooza, puzzle competition. I'm seeing a lot of these pop up now locally here in the metro. There's puzzle competitions. There's going to be a winter one here at Franklin Avenue Library in December. But I'm seeing all these puzzle competitions. But this would be cool for your teens on pages 271 and 272. Puzzlers can compete individually or as a group. The program can be adapted for kids and adults. So maybe for kids, they put together a 100-piece puzzle within 30 minutes or whatnot. I'm just making that up as an example. But for teens and adults, maybe you have it where the puzzlers can put together 500-piece puzzles in X amount of minutes, and the winner gets a prize. And maybe there are certificates for second and third place finishers. I also put in the slides here an article from programminglibrarian.org about Puzzle Palooza, so you can see how it works for adults and then scale it down for teen and then scale it down for kids. There is a puzzle company, Ravensburger, I believe is the name. I think that's the name. You can contact them to see if they can help sponsor a Puzzle Palooza at your library. Programminglibrarian.org has more info about that. The other thing I wanted to do with teens is we're teaching them skills. I mean, they're going to be adults pretty soon. So I wanted to showcase Level Up Your Life Skills on page 277. So maybe you have some teens that are lacking skills in cooking or changing a tire. Maybe you partner with a local business and have an expert from that business come to your library to teach life skills for teens. So if you have teens that are driving, maybe you have someone come out with a car and show them how to change a tire, how to check their oil to see when they need an oil change. Maybe you contact someone from Hy-Vee or Fairway or from another grocer that could teach cooking classes, sewing. We recently here in the metro, there was classes on how to sew. So how to sew buttons and how to repair your clothes. A couple years ago, when I was working at Southside Library, I had a representative. I can't remember if they were from Hy-Vee. I think they were from Hy-Vee, but I had that representative come and conduct mock interviews with teens to learn what it takes to be successful during a job interview. And a couple of those teens I've seen now, they have actual jobs. They're now adults. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel old. So, but having those life skills in place just helps them level up and help them be successful as healthy adults. So consider having these types of events at your library for teens. Dungeons and Dragons and games and role-playing activities. This is covered on pages 297 to 303. I wanted to make sure I put this in here. For those of you that have never played Dungeons and Dragons before, or if you're just new to role-playing games or RPGs, as they're called, you can read up on the many different activities that they have with these activities. My advice, I would consider hosting a role-playing game afternoon at your library. What does that look like? So maybe it's opening up your meeting room and just having teens come in and bring their own role-playing games into the library space, and they just play games with friends and different people. Just having a place for them to play and be is a wonderful component of growing up as a teen. The other thing I'd like to recommend to you, if you've never worked with the Dealt Hand, contact them. The Dealt Hand is a local company here in Des Moines. Their owner, Joe Roth, he teaches groups and individuals how to play games. They don't sell games. That's not their role. Their role is just to teach people how to play games. He does a great job. We worked with him for PopYS Con, and we had a gaming night. Some of you were there, but he was teaching all the librarians how to play these games. He brings with him over 200 games to each site, and you can choose whatever games you want to play. Your families can choose whatever games they want to play, and he and his staff, they'll teach you how to play those games, or your patrons. And they do offer sessions on how to play Dungeons and Dragons and how to play other role-playing games. For a 3-hour program, it was $65 an hour. He is willing to negotiate and he's willing to travel. Joe spoke at the Performer Showcase this year. So there's his contact information. Reach out. He's wonderful to work with. And that way you can bring some games at your library. Okay, some other team activities. These are just some things that you can do at your library. Have an Uno competition. I love Uno. I know there's people that love Uno. People get competitive with Uno, let me tell you, especially the draw two, and then they try to make up rules. Draw 4, draw 6. I don't know why, they just do it. So on page 25, you can look up how to have an Uno competition at your library. I've talked recently about puzzle swaps, puzzle exchanges. You can do a puzzle and game swap at your library on page 294, where you have teens and adults. They bring their games that they no longer play that are in good condition. The pieces are still there. You have them set them out on the table and they just swap. It's a great way to exchange games. It's a great way to grab new games to play. They can meet new friends and just enjoy getting a new game or a new puzzle. Even for adults, this would be a great adult program as well. The puzzle exchanges here in the Metro are huge. People love swapping things. So try to have a puzzle and game swap at your library. You could also do a Jenga competition. See if they can build and see who wins. The other item you could do, I'm pulling my screen here, there we go. Schedule a how to play chess event. I know there's teens or individuals that want to learn how to play chess or have never played chess before. consider reaching out and seeing if maybe you know how to play or anybody on your staff. Reach out and see if you could schedule a how to play chess event. Oh, I'm looking at these comments. Sarah says you can make a giant Jenga by wrapping, yep, the 24 count soda boxes in plain paper. Yes. And oh, yes, Killer Uno. I love Killer Uno. Jake says Joe also does murder mysteries for adults. Yes, absolutely.
Janeé, I'm looking at time and slides left, and I'm thinking maybe we better just skip this successful team program for now.
Okay.
I think what I will say is that probably very few people would say a successful teen program is based on numbers alone. So that was my point with this question, was just to encourage folks that sometimes we have a teen program and not very many people come, and that's okay. Let's keep talking about outreach, and maybe if we have time, we can come back to the teen question.
Yes. So I just wanted to say some notes on school and community outreach, and this is on pages 34 and 38. If you cannot make it to the schools, it's okay. Do not feel like, don't feel sad. There's ways you can do this. You can drop off bookmarks or flyers promoting your summer reading program. Some of the librarians here in town, they've recorded a short video about the summer reading program, and they've just sent it to the schools because maybe they can't get out there or there's too many, they have too much on their plate and this is the only thing that they can do. That is okay. You can record a short video about summer reading and send it to the schools and see if they'll play it. You can even ask schools to play the iREAD public service announcement that they put together, the public service announcement, and have it run in their classrooms. E-flyers. I know some districts have virtual backpacks now where you have to send it electronically and then they email it to all the parents. See if you can do a flyer through email so it can be distributed that way. And of course, inquire about sharing summer reading information in the school newspaper, the newsletters, websites, their social media. If you've got a good relationship with a teacher or the principal, ask them if if you can create a board in either in their library or in a class or in their walkway or hallway to promote summer reading. I love that idea. Placing an ad in the school newspaper or having it read over the PA system during the school announcements is another way to promote summer reading. With your daycares and your summer groups, my advice to you is this: reach out to them before summer reading starts. I like to set how should I put this? I'd like to build that relationship ahead of time because nothing says, oh my God, when you see 72 kids from a daycare group show up at your library and you have no clue that they're coming. So reach out to them before summer starts and set the expectations for what that will look like. And be realistic with them about outreach expectations. Let's face it, some of you are wearing many hats. Some of you are on the desk. Some of you are in your, you can't get out of your building. So be realistic with them about what you can do and what you can't do. That will make your life a little easier, and it will require the daycare providers to do a little bit more planning and thinking. Maybe you set up a time for the daycare or the group to come to the library so they won't hog up any registration for special programs. I remember one time I had a program, I can't remember if it was a kid or a teen program, but I believe it was a children's program, and here come 30, 40 kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I only have this much amount for these guys that came. So what I did was I set up a different time with that organization, and then they were able to come back, and then we made the activity with them. So set up a time with them and just work with them. And think about how that daycare or group can complete the summer reading program at their site. Maybe you have a different log for them. Maybe they have a bingo. Maybe you just give the daycare a bingo sheet and say, hey, this is your summer reading challenge. You complete these activities on the bingo sheet. I'll come back and I'll give you a small prize. So think about how those groups can complete your summer reading program. Some parting thoughts for you. I want you to make summer reading your own. Make it your own. There's no one way or right way to conduct a summer reading program. Everybody's program across the state is going to look different, and that is okay. I encourage you to use this resource guide as a springboard for ideas. I always get excited when I look at this resource guide. It can be overwhelming. Take it bit by bit. Just use it as a springboard. Write down ideas that you know that would work at your library. You don't have to just do the whole thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just use it as a springboard and do what you can. Plan your programs based on the needs and wants of your community and know your limits. You know what you have on your plate. Know your limits. Don't burn yourself out and take care of yourself. Your staff needs you. Your community needs you. So take care of yourself. And my boss, she said this to me years ago, because I would always say, oh, well, Franklin's doing that program, and this library's doing that program, and Iowa City's doing this program, and Eastside's doing this. And she sat me down and she said to me, Janeé, comparison is the thief of joy. And I'm saying that to you because it's true. If you worry about, oh, this branch is a H-size library and they're doing this, and this is I'm an A-size library, comparison is the thief of joy. Do what you can with what you have, and don't worry about what other people think. You know your community, you know your programs. Show that joy, show that, don't compare. Do what you know and with love. And be flexible on the themed programs. You don't have to do every themed program from the resource guide. So quickly, there's some other resource pages you need to know. We have Pinterest boards and Facebook groups. The State Library of Iowa has a Pinterest page. The Pinterest page will be active this Friday. I am still putting things up on the Pinterest board, and once it's released, you guys can go to town. The State Library's Pinterest page will be updated through summer 2025. With iREAD, they have a Pinterest page you can look at for ideas and inspiration. If you're on Facebook, they have a Facebook group, iREAD 2025, Level Up at Your Library. You can get onto that Facebook group and get ideas, and look at their Pinterest page to get ideas. If you have not watched the video on how to download the resource guide and graphics, the link to the YouTube video is below. Also, I had a comment, a librarian said to me, I can't find the summer library program page for the state library. I can't find it. So this is what it looks like. I took a screenshot of it. But if you go to our website, statelibraryofiowa.gov, in the search box, type Summer Library Program, and then just click on those words, and you're able to pull up this screen. It has the itinerary of all of our events. It has links to the Zoom office hours with me that you can register online there. We will also post the summer reading Canva templates on this page as well. So again, statelibraryofiowa.gov, type in the search box Summer Library Program, and you'll click on those words and you'll find this webpage. Also, I'm offering again summer reading office hours with me. The dates are there, December, January, and February at different times. It's a 1-hour open forum discussion on Zoom with me. Basically, we're just bouncing summer reading program ideas off of each other. This is not for CE credit, but it's a great way to see and talk to other people and see what they're planning and just share resources and ideas or any contacts. The registration links for this are on the State Library of Iowa's Summer Library Program webpage. Okay.
Okay, we've got one last poll for you guys. After leaving today's webinar, so like, let's assume you're going to go eat lunch. But like, what's your next summer reading related action? Is there well, maybe you need to go talk to your director about getting the resource guide downloaded. Maybe you are ready to go start bookmarking of some of your favorite things in the resource guide. Maybe you are going to contact a performer or start shopping for supplies. But where are you headed next? Becca, what do you think? What
Yeah.
should a librarian's what would you recommend be a first planning step? Since we've got you here, I'm going to tap your expertise.
That's a hard, I think, you know, I would say it really depends on the library, but I would say start with that resource guide. I know it's big. I know it takes a ton of time to really dive into it. And you all are so lucky because Janeé has started that work for you. So, as you flip through it, you'll see some stuff that will be familiar to you. Also, we do have that code. So start there. Be like, if you're a children's librarian, a teen librarian, an adult librarian, start there and just kind of look through and find the T's and read those ideas. Um, you know, I I think that in in my experience, um, people find it really to be overwhelming, and I get it. And this one it's a it's a big boy. This resource guide is a big one. Like I said in the chat, it's like twice as big as it normally is, and that's thanks to all the librarians that had amazing ideas around gaming and puzzles and that sort of thing. But I would say just like get yourself acquainted with that resource guide because it's all there. And for me, and it based on seeing Janeé present for a few times now, I think she's the same way. Sometimes I read something and I'm like, that doesn't quite work for my library, but what if I did XYZ instead? And we try to have a really wide range of programs and crafts and everything from like super easy, super inexpensive, like you probably have everything on hand right now that you need for it, and some stuff that's going to take a little bit of planning. So as you're going through, mark those planning things like the escape rooms, and if you want to reach out to have somebody sponsor a puzzle program or something like that, and start thinking about that stuff now. And just, like I said, just go through with those little post-it sticky tabs and mark the things that are of interest to you. And then, truly, like I say this, if anyone has ever been in a webinar with me before for Iowa, I say it every single time. The work that Samantha and Janeé do for you all is top tier, like unbelievable. Like the Canva resources, the Pinterest pages, all of that other stuff. So lean on them. They're there to support you in your work. Go to Janeé's open office hours, have a chat with her if you're feeling overwhelmed. Um, and I know that, like, for some of you, if you're like me, just kind of talking it out with somebody is enough to like take me from here to like here, you know what I mean? And maybe like she didn't do anything but say like you've got this, and like, but don't we all need to hear that sometimes? So I would just say that that between Iowa and this resource guide, you all just have a plethora of resources and information. And I'm going to be doing, if you're not signed up for our email newsletter, I'm going to do some open office hours. We're doing some webinars and stuff around the summer reading coming in the next few months. So come to those as well. For me, if I were you all, I would be in the like idea stage, in the like just letting stuff soak in, see kind of what rises to the top. What do you keep thinking about? I know that someone was like, I feel like I'm already behind. You're not already behind. You got
Oh,
this. When I was in public libraries, I had a couple libraries that like wanted to start planning summer reading as soon as summer reading ended. And I really like to start in like December, January at the earliest, personally. Um, because I mean, if you're doing summer reading all year, all day, I mean, unless that's your job to do summer reading all year, all day, that's a lot for one I mean, you have other programs, you have other initiatives, you have other patrons, like it's okay. It's going to be great. And one of my favorite phrases that one of my colleagues used to say to me is patrons will never know what you planned and didn't execute. So
Yeah.
like if you had the idea to do this thing and it doesn't happen, your patrons will never know that. And so, don't beat yourself up too much. Um, if you have all these big ideas and you realize that you can't execute all of them, save it for summer or save it for winter break, save it for, spring break. There's always stuff that needs to happen in the library during those times too. So y'all are doing great. You're amazing. Also, just a real quick pitch that we are accepting contributions for the 2026 resource guide now. And I know that Iowa always comes hard for us. So like, if I just said don't think about summer reading, and then I told you please think about summer reading 2026. So please submit your ideas for the resource guide if you have them. We really want it to be a variety of programs and activities and ideas from librarians all over the country, from small libraries to big libraries. So no idea is too small, no idea is too big. We want to hear them all. And thank you all for including me. This is such a cool opportunity.
We love you, Becca. You're the
Yes.
best. Couldn't do it without you. And I've issued one public apology during this webinar. I must now issue a second because Becca was late because my silly meeting um, put a Zoom or put a Google invite on to Becca. So she was hanging out in Google while we were hanging out in Zoom. And anyway, this last one, I don't have a poll for this, but have we moved around on the Mario scale at all? We had a lot of 4, 5s, and 6s at the beginning. Are we feeling maybe a little more, I don't know, 1? Cautious smile? Hopefully nobody's a 9 still. But I think 1 and determined. There we go. Jake's got this. Way to go, Jake.
Nice.
Chris is a 10, and that's not even an
10.
option. So I don't know, Chris. That's up to you. We got some 3s. That's good. Jamie moved to a 3. Mary moved on to Luigi. So we know
Luigi.
that Mary might be the biggest nerd of all of us. Thank you, Mary. All right, everyone. It is 11:30. Janeé, is there anything else that we need to say?
If you got any questions or if you just need to reach out, please reach out to me. There's my contact info. I also put iREAD's contact info, iREAD at ila.org. Please bounce ideas off of us. We'd love to talk to you. I'm excited, and hopefully I will see you guys very soon in the summer reading office hours.
There we go. So I will take attendance after we wrap up here today. You'll have a prompt from Workday Learning to do the evaluation lesson. And we do look at those evaluations to help us plan for training next year. So we hope you enjoyed this webinar. We will see you at the next training. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.